Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. We are live. Welcome, guys, to the latest episode of the Sim Standard Podcast with your host, Smitty, AzureEffect when he is available, and myself, SimFBallCritic, man. Always happy to come back to you guys, man, and kick a little, whatever it is we're kicking. We enjoy you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy us. We appreciate everybody who tunes in each and every week. And we got another episode here for you, man. And like it says in the title there, we definitely want to talk a little bit of Red Dead Redemption. Yeah, guys, I know this is primarily a sports podcast, but really not. We really want to talk about multiple things. So we're going to dive into that, give our quick impressions. It's hard to give impressions on a game this early in terms of a game like that. So I don't know how deep we're going to go with that, but we're just going to talk about it. And we want to talk about as well, man, has it changed our thoughts and opinions and how we view sports titles. And we'll get into the, this dev cycles and all of that, but we just want to, at least give it its just due. And then we also want to talk a little bit about, man, EA is currently working on Project Atlas. For you guys that don't know what that is, we'll dive deeper into that and let you know exactly what that's referring to. And outside of that, man, what we want to talk about as well is Madden, financially, and this is coming directly from Smitty. We want to know, do we have any confidence in, or are we going to stand for EA no longer or not, building the game up financially across the board? Will it be supported financially across the board, not just one area of the game? So we'll dive into all of that, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. But just like we do each and every week, man, it's football season, so we're going to kick it off with our quick impressions on how our teams did in the prior week. If one of our teams was on the bye, I can't remember if Detroit was, but I know we weren't.
No,
so
we played. Yeah,
okay,
we played.
Got you. So we'll talk a little bit about that, man. We'll say what's up to Smitty. How was your week, and how you currently feeling about the Detroit Lions at the moment?
Well, I mean, we just made a big trade, big deal trade for us. We traded away Golden Tate to the Eagles for a third-round draft pick. And I mean, it's a good trade because we honestly, even though we could have kept we could have kept Tate, but we weren't, at least the way that everything's been talked about in regards to Tate, we didn't have plans on re-signing him. Plus, we still free up a little bit more cap space, and we get something for him in return instead of just letting the season play out, pay him in full, and then we get nothing. So I can see where the value is in that. And then also they're trying to build our team up some more. Now, even though we lost we lost, our defensive secondary needs work. Like, we need a lot of work. I mean, our front seven needs work, but especially the secondary, it needs a lot of work. Because it's not that Matt Stafford is a bad QB or nothing like that, but like I said before, when they can actually move the ball, and I'm sorry, Amir Abdullah, I gave that look as a fan, as a person that's all about giving people multiple chances and everything like that. Flat out, he gotta go. He gotta go at this point. We've given him more than enough chances. He had a few grown man runs here and there, but his big time flaws that he had in college crept up and stayed with him going into the pros and throughout his pro career so far. I don't know. Maybe if he gets a change of scenery, he can be on. He could be better, possibly. Or if somebody else gives him a chance, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But gotta let him go, man. He's not being effective for us, and we definitely need to get some defensive help. I think I seriously hope with that pick that's what we get in return. Because, we wanted to get defensive support, but we couldn't get it. So, like that's a good thing that we got. Because, we were speculating at least just, from theories and stuff like that was like maybe a fourth round pick because we didn't think too highly that a team would want to give up a third round pick or closer to get, for Tate. So, for us to get that is a good, that's a good pickup for us. The Eagles got him though for the rest of the season. Hey, hopefully he makes a good impact for them. But once again, he's a free agent once the season's through. So we'll see what happens with Tate. But he's definitely is missed though because he's a big time. He's a very solid player. It's not like we had anything ill against him. He showboated a smidge much at times, but other than that though, like we didn't have a problem with him. He was a very solid player for us, good all around guy, contributor, and everything like that. So he definitely is missed. But we got T.J. Jones that'll step up into the fold, and I don't know how effective he's going to be. That is a big gap that we have now, so they're going to have to definitely fill that void, put some work in and fill that void. But we'll see how things shape out for the rest of the year. Because honestly, this is the tough stretch that we got here. We still got to play. We have to play Green Bay in Green Bay at the end of the season. We still have to play Chicago twice. We still got to play the Vikings twice, and we still got to play. We got to play Carolina, and we got to play the Rams. I think that's the rest of the schedule, if I'm not mistaken. Oof. Not in order, but I'm saying we still got to play those teams. So it's like we have to play against all these squads. It's going to be very hard. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very hard. And we're not even a team that has something truly established yet. So it's going to be very hard playing against some of these guys, man. I don't know how we're going to shape out, but I hope we can win. If we get to the playoffs, that would be awesome. But if we don't make the playoffs, I wouldn't be too upset because, like I said, we gave up Tate. Plus, our secondary is not great either. It's not bad, but at the same time, we're kind of a bend and somewhat break secondary. So we need to solidify our linebacking core because players are developing. They're starting to turn a corner. They're buying in, and they're starting to turn a corner. But we don't have enough yet to have that consistency. So maybe another linebacker out there, an outside linebacker, and definitely somebody else in that secondary, and definitely on that front line, we need some help because I highly doubt we're bringing back Ziggy Ansah. So we're definitely going to need some help on the edge. We're definitely going to need some interior pressure help as well. Deshaun Hand, like I mentioned before, he's not bad, but we also need more help. You know what I'm saying? On the defensive side. Offensively, Kerryon Johnson looks really good. Him and LeGarrette Blount are a nice 1-2 punch when healthy. Theo Riddick, nice catching, receiving back for us. So he's doing good for us. Our O-line is not blocking bad. So, they're not doing a bad job. That's something that can get better. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with that right now. And on the flip side with the Pistons though, Blake is balling. He had a 50-point game. Blake balling. We need the rest of the team to step up. We do. Like we're having these close games and then we're losing them and everything off of clutch shots by somebody else. Like we need somebody else to step up. Drummond needs to step up. I don't need to just be anybody. You need to step up flat out. Need some help. You know what I'm saying? Another consistent performer, Stanley Johnson. This is his make or break year. Honestly, if he doesn't do anything this year, he out. And now if he goes somewhere else and he gets coached up, and all of a sudden he's playing better than ever, I'm gonna be real pissed off about that. That would really make me upset because I think Stanley Johnson's got potential. It's just that I think that he's been heavily affected because of Stan Van Gundy. and what he did during his tenure. He tried to make him a player that he's not. So he could have affected his psyche from all that. That's very possible. So, because he was a different player from when he first came in to the NBA to where he's at even before Casey got there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But big ups to Derrick Rose, man. 50-point game, career high 50-point game he had the other night when basically people saying he's old and all that. Look, this brother was in New York averaging 18 a game over there. 18 and I think like 4 or 6 assists with Carmelo Anthony and Porzingis over there. The brother's not washed up or done or anything like that. Yeah, he had some setbacks, and yeah, he mentally had setbacks. But the man is far from remotely from being finished. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, last night was a clear indicator of that. My man balled the heck out. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to Derrick Rose, man, on what he did there. But that's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. I'll be brief with Steeler news. Hey, they winning some games. I'm still not happy though because we about to see. We about to get into the thick of things now. We got the Ravens coming up on Sunday, which I think is very possible that that's going to be a loss. Reason being, man, is listen. You know how the Ravens Steelers go. The series right now, if I'm not mistaken, is 24-22 in favor of the Steelers. Very, very even. It was a couple years in a row, last couple years, where the Ravens was getting the best of us. I think they swept us the year before last. And last year, we happened to sweep them. Now this year, they win the game in Heinz Field. Now we got to go there. I mean, that could always go either way. And I've been saying that the Ravens are a better football team than they were because they have more offense. Ravens fans could probably argue the fact and say, well, they're not consistent because they've dropped a few games. But again, this is the Steelers, man. They're going to get up. They're going to definitely be ready for Pittsburgh. They're going into their bye after this week. I doubt very seriously that a prideful Ravens team would like to go into their bye 4-5. It's going to be tough for us to go to Baltimore and win that. Is it possible? It is, but we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's. And, just to speak a little in advance, we about to see. We got Carolina the next time, right after them. Right after the Ravens, we got Carolina next Thursday. We still got the Patriots. We still got the Chargers. We still got the Saints. We got some quarterbacks who can throw that ball around. So we really going to see what type of team the Steelers are. I still don't think we're that great. I think we are a talented team that can win, but I'm not confident in the team yet. That was Cleveland. No disrespect, but that was Cleveland. However, there is a caveat in there, Smitty. Who would have thought that we would have been able to perform the way we did against the Falcons with the offense that they could muster? Defense showed up. Defense showed up against Cincinnati. And, again, against Cleveland, they did their thing. But we're going to see. I still don't have my high hopes up yet. I'm a very down-to-earth, realistic Steeler fan. I just wait to see what the team is going to be. As far as basketball, man, I'm a little disappointed with my Sixers right now, man. They've won a few, but they don't look. Let me say it like this. Basketball has a lot of games. We all know that. I mean, 82 games. Teams can start off 0-6 and then end up going on a 10-game run. So you can't really get down on your team this early. But what I will say is a lot of the teams that's supposed to be good look good early. That's what I'm seeing from this season so far. A lot of the teams that are supposed to be good teams, they're looking like good teams. Philly ain't looking like one of those elite teams early. So I'm a little concerned about that, but we'll see, man. They probably will get it together at some point, but I do not think, Smitty, that we're going to run through that East, not by any means. I think your boy Kawhi has brought some different fire to the Toronto. Boston going to be there. I mean, it's a lot of other teams. I mean, hey, the Pistons, It's a lot of teams out here that can get some things rolling. So Philly got they got their hands full. So we'll see. But outside of that, guys, I guess we can dive into the topics, man. Where you want to start, Smitty, man? Do we want to jump right into the Red Dead conversation?
Yeah, we could do that Red Dead first, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Smitty kick it off, man. It's just I know where he's going with it, man, but wow. I'm just gonna say wow for now, and I'll wait my turn. What you got, Smitty, man? Let's talk about this Red Dead Phenomenal Redemption.
Man, it's Red Dead, man. Like, people been seeing, like I've been streaming it and stuff like that, man. Yo, like Rockstar, I mean, it's crazy how, when you play some games over time, I don't know what kind of games other people may play or what you may play, Sim, but I've played, and still do every so often, I play RPGs. And when I play RPGs, they'll have you go to various lands and stuff, and you can journey. You can traverse over these landscapes and check out all this detailed stuff and everything, but you can't interact with everything in the environment. It's only to a certain point you get to interact with environments, and then it just stops. You know what I'm saying? Everything is more of a backdrop that you can never get to. You can't touch it. You know what I'm saying? It's just good background. Like, they blend it in real well. So it's like, dang, that atmosphere looked crazy back there. But that's all you could see it. But it's nothing that you can never honestly journey to or explore on your own. In Red Dead Redemption, though, you see the mountains all the way off in the background. You can actually go there. You know what I'm saying? You can actually journey to there. You see those plains, and you see the dips and the hills and the valleys and the lake and the stream and all that stuff. You can't. It's not just something you just look at. You can actually, if you ride long enough, you could go there. You could literally go there. And I know people complain about the immersion, and that's just crazy in itself. But it's wild when I'm playing and I'm literally going up to the mountains. I went from a warmer climate down below to going into the mountains, and you see, just like when it's not raining, but when it snows and you're outside, and you see the snow that from the wind gusts blowing, and you get some snow on your jacket or whatever, and you see because you're wearing leather and everything, you're wearing a leather coat, so that leather, you see the leather like tighten up or crisp up or whatever with the snow glistening, the glaze on your back or whatever because of the snow, and the sun hits it. It's like that kind of detail is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, oh, you got on the wrong gear being in this atmosphere, so your stamina is going to go out, go faster. It's going to deplete quicker and stuff like that. And you see my man shivering there and blowing on his hands and all of that stuff. It's like it all flows. It all flows together. It all evolves together. You know what I'm saying? When you fight, when you get into fights with people or scuffles, if you fall off your horse, you fall in the water, and then if you fall in the water, or let's say you were just in the water and your clothes wet, all that stuff, then you fall in some dirt or you get in the mud, it all shows up on your clothing exactly from where you did it, from where you made the impact at, whether it was on your right side, left side, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I fought against that grizzly bear. There was a mission I fought against a grizzly bear, that legendary animal or whatever. And I had the big old claw marks on my back. Like, it stayed there the whole time. until I got myself together. I got myself cleaned up and everything. But see, and I'm just talking about these simple. These are just details.
Details, baby.
On top of details. I mean, your horse stands there. He's taking a dump and everything right there. It's like, oh snap! Like I ain't even, he's like, ain't even paying attention to it. It's like it happens. It's right there.
I could even smell it. Oh man.
Oh man. So like, it's so much detail involved in this game. I mean, you could do and like what I was saying to people on the stream was, unlike Assassin's Creed, and I saw people talk about how they want it to be like Assassin's Creed, where it's like you can go somewhere and find the person who holds the bounty, and you can take them out, and that'll clear your bounty. The thing in Red Dead, and I mean it makes sense in that time frame though. At that time frame, somebody witnesses a crime, they gonna tell. Oh, I saw that. Hey, I'm about to go tell. They ain't running and then go tell the authorities. They gonna tell somebody, right? So, what they go ahead and do is if you commit a crime and somebody see it, you got to take them out before they could tell. Now, if you don't have, now this is one thing that I didn't bear in mind. If I didn't have my mask on or my handkerchief up, so they'll see me, and then now it's like, oh, you did this. Oh, we got to get them. And now I'm wanted, and I got a bounty to pay. I can't take out the whole town.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I can't take the whole town on because they'll get me. I can't take that many people on by myself. So it's like you get to the witness, okay, fine. But if that witness gets near other people and you killed that witness, now they all done saw it. And guess what? You about to take all these people out before they can get to somebody. They're gonna get to the law enforcement, and now you got a bounty on your head, so you have to pay it. I like the way that works. I love the way that it works like that. Don't make it simplistic. Make people have to learn. I got bounties in like 5-6 different counties right now. I probably got a few $100s I gotta pay in bounties because I've done a little something here, a little something there, a lot of something over here, and I got caught. They saw me. And it's like, dang, they didn't rode into town. And there were even there's even stuff I did where they didn't see me. You know what I mean? Or they saw somebody, or they saw a dead body. Now it's like the law enforcement coming through to see what's going on. But they don't know what happened because I ain't there. They just saw somebody in the street. That stuff is tight. See what I'm saying? And like the very first time I had got a bounty was from, I was helping a lady out. Her husband or whatever was drowning her in a trough or whatever, and I got there too late, but I knocked out the husband. So when I went to pick her up, I was thinking maybe she'll wake up if I pick her up. I went to pick the body up, and somebody saw me pick up her body, and they was like, "Ooh, he did." They thought I did it. When I was just helping, so they thought I was the one that did the crime. So then they tell, and I'm up here in a gunfight. I'm shooting other guys. I'm shooting these people and everything. And I'm like, I gotta get out of here because they're gonna overwhelm me. And then I got this big old bounty to pay, but I wanted to bathe. I was stinking. I did all this work outside and everything, but I couldn't do it because I'd have to go to that town. The only town at the time I was playing, the only place I could go to get a bath at, and I'm wanted in that county.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying? So I can't even go there to clean or nothing like that. That's the stuff I'm talking about, man. That's the stuff. It's that depth. It's that detail. I know. Hey, I know. Des, look, I'm giving away a little bit, but the thing is, I've only played a little bit of a little bit. There's a heck of a lot in this game. What I'm saying is just a little bit of a little bit. I ain't even talked about hunting. I ain't talking about. There's so many things that I ain't even talk about. So that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. So that's what I'm just saying. That's why I'm saying I can't possibly compare this game to Madden. There's no way in the world I wouldn't compare this to any sports game because it's not even remotely close to fair. Number one, they have they basically had all of their Rockstar Studios work on the game over the 8 year span. Secondly, you had over 500 people working on this game. I know they made controversy about the work hours and stuff, but see, that lets you know right there, even with that. Look at how much work is being put into to give you that detail, that depth, that immersive experience. Like they want you to drown in the immersion. They want it to be that way. You see what I'm saying? When you look at that, we can't talk about 8 months, 8 month development cycle where the game comes out, and of course we already know people whine and complain and want the game to be nerfed. No, if Red Dead did that, like, oh wait, we got to stop every 9 months because we got to let people play this and then take their feedback in and possibly got to revert the whole game because of it. They can't do that. We can't have that kind of stuff going on. You know what I mean? In those kind of games. This is a kind of game where it's like we made it. This is the game, and y'all just gonna have to deal with what we got. You just gonna have to evolve, get better, whatever, and that's just it. But back to the main point about Red Dead, it's got a great story. It's got great depth to it. I mean, I'm loving everything that the game is giving to us right now at this point. And I mean, I am not even like, oh, excuse me, I'm not remotely close at all to like, this is not disappointment or anything like that at all. Like I said, like I had someone on Facebook ask, what do you rate this game? I give this game 20 out of 10. You know what I'm saying? It's like absolutely phenomenal. Games like this and Spider-Man, phenomenal games. You know what I'm saying? But this is not something you could just slap together real quick in 8, 9 months time and then say, boom, bow, there it is. We're all set and done. You can't do that. I mean, going through the snow, walking through rivers and you know, clean your horse off by having him run through water, or if he stands in the rain long enough, he'll be washed off. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of stuff right there is ridiculous right there to see. And I mean, I want to see as much of that. I want to get, you know, I would love to see detail like that in a sports title, but you know, with what Red Dead is giving us, I mean, it's see and understand this too. Understand this too, and then I'll throw it to you, Sim. This is the thing: they made an experience out of the game, right? They're not making it for little Timmy to comprehend. They just made the experience. This is what we're making, you guys. We're giving y'all the Old West. We're giving y'all the price points. We're giving y'all how the community works, how everything operated at this point in history as much as we can. And we're giving it to you in this robust package. Now, go out there and have fun. If you want to fool around, fool around. If you want to take it seriously, take it seriously. But this is it. And that's all there is to it. It's not, oh, well, we're going to dial it back because somebody feels a certain way and all. No. Now, when they do their online stuff, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some tuning and balancing because it'll be necessary. But other than that, though, it's not like they're not going to take the game and just throw it into the toilet or revert it back because somebody feels a particular way or a certain crowd feels a particular way, so we got to dial it back. That's not what's being done here. They made the experience. Now, Do what you will with it. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Even like somebody pointed out in the video, Sim, they said that even when you shoot people, they react to it in a certain way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Depending upon where they get hit at. If you rob the store, and this is on YouTube, so somebody put a video out. I didn't do this personally, but it's crazy to know that you could do it. If you go to the like stores or whatever, and you keep robbing the clerk, or if let's say you keep beating up the clerk, every time you go to beat up the clerk, they're gonna show the scars. One dude was beat to a point where he had a bandage wrapped across his eye and his head because he kept getting beat up. Like you kept going in there and kept beating him. So it's like whatever you do, positively or negatively, to impact, it's going to reflect over the entire game in everything you do. Just like with me being in that first town, I do something there, even though I pay a bounty off. Oh, here's this guy again. Oh man, he gonna bring some trouble with him again? You hear all that muttering under the breath, all that talk that people talking and everything. Immersion, details, depth. Like it all rolls together, and it's just like, oh my gosh, like Rockstar did it, y'all. This is it. But I'll say this real quick to the point of a sports title, and I'm saying sports titles. I'm not saying just Madden. It should be about delivering the experience. That's it. We made this experience of basketball, of soccer, of football, whatever, of boxing, of MMA. We did this, right? Now, y'all enjoy it. We got the modes or whatever. Y'all have fun with it. Not, we're going to put this out, and then after you tell us how you feel, we may revert things and we may dumb things down because y'all in y'all feelings. No, it's, we made this. This is the experience, and that's it. You just deal with it, and you either get better or you get left behind. That's it. It's not no, oh, well, we got to scale it back because, like, I would be very frustrated if they were to scale back Red Dead Redemption. Like what I mean by that is if they say, hey, we added fast travel in there. Why? For what? Can they just go to a train station and hop on a train and go to the next town instead since they don't want to ride their horse? I mean, the option's there. Y'all built the game for the immersion on purpose. I could be out here riding on the horse and out of nowhere, some gangsters or whatever from, some gangsters from whatever family or whatever situation, all of a sudden they want to draw out and shoot out. Oh, okay, bet, let's go. All of a sudden, I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I see deer, I see elk, you know what I mean? I see some rabbits. Man, I got my varmint rifle. I'm about to go ahead and pop some of them. I got some food. You know what I'm saying? I could either camp in the middle of nowhere, cook the food, take it with me, or I could cook it, eat, get some rest, and then head back to the camp. Or go to the next mission spot. Like, that's part of the experience. That's what it's supposed to be about. You're supposed to do that kind of stuff. They're not spending all this time making this game so that way you can treat it like a microwave meal. It's supposed to take time. You're supposed to be immersed in it and want to digest all the depth that's in there. That's why they made it this way. You see what I'm saying? So that's, but that's it though. But I'll give it to you. Throw it to you, Sim.
It's crazy, man, how excuse me, how passionate we can talk about a game that we've never lived as a Western type. We never even lived in that. And look at how excited we could be about this game. It's like Smitty said, man, it's the detail alone is what blew me away. And I haven't even had the opportunity to play it as much because I've had a lot going on. I played it pretty good You know, when the game launched, I was unable to play it until that following Saturday. Played a good amount of it. Got a couple videos I might clip together. But I'm not even at the, I'm at the very tip of the iceberg. Like Smitty, I've only even did like my first hunt, you know, where I had to go after the deers. Like, again, I don't want to give a spoiler alert for anybody. But man, just the little stuff, like you can literally tell when you're in heavy snow by the way you move. I mean, by the way the snow moves when you brush past it. It even catches the motion of your arms or hands when it brushes through the snow. And like Smitty said, how you have to be mindful of the conditions. How hard you run your horse. Have you fed the horse? Has the horse been able to drink? You know, and if not, his stamina could be low. I mean, it's so many things, so many aspects where you just see the detail that pops out and you think to yourself, wow, this is what we're talking about. No, you can't, you know, directly correlate it with a sports title. No, you can't really do that because, again, guys, it took these guys years to make this game. But what we can do is we can say, like Smitty said, it's the experience. I want the experience. I feel like I'm watching an old Western movie when I play that game. I'm so drawn to what's happening. It's one of them games, and the reason why I haven't played it as much, I don't even want to play it when, like, my family is around, because I can't fully pay attention. I won't even touch it until I have time where it's just me. And I can have headphones on, locked in. Those are the only times I've played the game so far. It is amazing. I mean, even the script. And here's the funny thing too, Smitty, and to say it to everybody else. Somebody commented on one little quick video I put up, and they said, well, the game lacks diversity, and, you know, I don't really know how true to life it is. First of all, maybe I'm wrong. I didn't know that is Red Dead Redemption portraying an actual story? Or is it just giving us an experience?
I think it's just giving an experience, but it could possibly have some realistic, you know, real world kind of stuff added into it as well. Possibly, but I'm not sure.
Because, see, my thing is, it really made me think, too, where we are as a gaming community. Like, seriously? That's your problem with Red Dead? Is not telling the real story? What story? I don't even know what story we talk about. It's just an experience. It's a Western. That's it. Like, so I think sometimes people get in their own way from enjoying something because in their own mind, oh, well, it's not really the real deal. I mean, Back to the Future 3 wasn't the real deal either, but most of us watched it when they went back to 1855 when we was kids. But I don't know, man. Oh, Smitty, I don't even know what else to say, man. The game is so good. I mean, graphically, and how important everything is, man. Like, it's one of them games that you can't just breeze through it and not use your resources. And you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't necessarily just say, all right, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. No, it might cost you. Like your gear. And even what Smitty said earlier, you know, if you don't wash and stuff like that, things like that can affect you. It's crazy. But also, I will say this. When you talk about a sports title, a game like 2K and MLB The Show, you know, those two games right there make me feel like I'm playing that sport, both on and off the field or the court. You know, like NBA 2K reminds me of stuff that I may have forgotten or may have not known. You know what I mean? Like, in terms of basketball. Like, I forgot how many different options they have with contracts. And I forgot there's like a certain thing with an age clause and all this kind of stuff. They got it all in NBA 2K. And then if you play My GM, it's even deeper. And that's what we're talking about. And that's how I can look at a game like Red Dead and say to myself, wow, man, look at how much attention to detail they paid in this game that ain't even really got nothing to do with just the story. It's amazing. It's amazing. And again, man, I haven't played it a lot, but I think I've played it enough to already be blown away. And yeah, man, it's phenomenal. But I know Dez, man, mentioned that he wanted to come on after I got done. I think Smitty, said all that needed to be said. Let's see if we can get Dez on really, really quick, man, and add him to the call. Anything else you got, Smitty, before we call Dez?
I mean, I'm pretty much I like without sounding spoilery, because I know everybody doesn't have it yet. But I don't want to sound like I'm being spoilery, but it's just, like I said, Red Dead gives a lot of depth. And I mean, even to what you're saying, Sim bringing in MLB The Show. I mean, look, the one brother that I personally give a lot of props to is Lex Marsden. He goes in real heavy talking about these game series because he's a big time franchise guy. And it's like, to see him actually play the show this year and play the whole season, like he played every game, every single game, didn't sim nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a big deal, because when you play a game that makes you feel like that, like you're that compelled to want to play every game. Like, look, I'm streaming Red Dead, but when I get offline, when I get off the streams and everything like that, I'll be feeling the itch, like, man, because I watch basketball and I get that itch. Man, I want to play 2K. Man, I want to play 2K. And I could play, and when I do fire it up, I could play that game for hours. Like, if I really wanted to, I could go at it for hours on end, just going in, playing game after game after game, and dealing with all the franchise stuff because all the depth that it gives. But we got a football game that I don't feel like playing game after game like that, unless I'm using somebody's sliders, even though shout out to my man Neo. But there needs to be, the core gameplay is not enough, not nearly enough. And then we have a lackluster CFM. There's nothing there that keeps me immersed. You got secondary play in there that is completely, I mean, it shows great disrespect to the knowledge that A-Dub has. That's why I said to Sim before, A-Dub couldn't go on live stream and bust out Madden and break down how the zone play actually is, like how it all should work in general, because the game doesn't do it. The game doesn't allow it to happen. He looks silly on that stage, and he's in there. He's brilliant. That man's a dang on coach. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, when we play Red Dead, yeah, we ain't from the old West. We ain't no cowboys and cowgirls out here. It's not like we know what's up. You know what I mean? But from the experience that Red Dead is giving us, they're giving us a lot of real world, relatable environmental stuff. Like, it's been raining all day here, right? I can fire up Red Dead and it's comparable. Environmental reaction wise, it's very comparable. That's legit. And then, of course, the gameplay, just from dealing with, watching movies and TV shows and stuff like that in the past. Yeah. They're capturing that. And even from the stuff you look at, that you may have learned about in school or free-handed by yourself. That's the kind of stuff that we have in the game. It's giving us that kind of depth at this point, to really enjoy and just lose ourselves in the title, lose ourselves in the immersion, to the point where, to Sim's point, you would honestly think this could have took place. Is this a real event we're playing? Because of how much they're giving us. Is that truly a possibility? You know what I'm saying? So it's that's how crazy it is. That's how crazy it is, and that's the depth of detail that we got out of this game. Like, they did a masterful job, Rockstar, just as a whole. They did a phenomenal job. So that's all I got. I'll stop there. I'll give it to you, Sim.
And just to add to that real quick before I call Dez, just to add on the little diversity piece. What cracks me up is, first of all, it is a timepiece. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I mean, unless you haven't played it, there's diversity in the characters early on. I mean, extremely early. There's different ethnicities. There's some Hispanic, ethnicity in there. There's black early on. So I'm like, okay, I feel what the guy's saying, but I'm like, well, if I would have played this for the first time, I had nothing, I didn't know anything, and I just popped it in there, and if I was looking for that, say I was the type of person, well, I'm going to see how diverse it is. It's very early. I mean, it doesn't take long for you to come across that. So I don't know what he's referring to when he says that. And even outside of that, I think I even saw an article before the game released where they said they were going to have a number of different, ethnicities and African American cowboys and things like that. Like that article was out there. So my point in saying that, man, is sometimes, number one, people have their own agenda when they throw their opinions at stuff. And number two, like, honestly, that's a false statement because I see it in the game. But I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. But let's get Dez in here, man. We're going to call Dez right now, guys. Y'all bear with us for a hot second. We're going to add him to the call. Definitely want to hear what he has to say because we all were looking forward to this game. And now it is here. All right, so one moment, guys. We should have him on here in just a second. All right. We got Dez on. We got Smitty on. Dez, man, if you can hear me, man, the floor is yours. What you got for us, brother?
Yo, y'all good, man?
Yes, sir. You all right?
Yo, man, I'm out here, man. On the range, partner. So that's you know what, man? It's funny because the biggest thing I wanted to call and talk about was how I appreciated the way that they are treating race and everything like that to where I am in the game, because I do feel like it's an authentic representation of what it probably was. Now, probably toned down a lot, and I don't know if that's what the criticism was. It's like it's not all the way real, but it's like short of actually just seeing lynched bodies, which I'm not sure if you even would bend a corner and see that at some point. At this point, who knows? But I don't really know what more they could do to show the difference between us and them, and then everybody else. Like, within all of those, at the time, like, even if you listen to Red Dead Redemption 1, the little scientist dude kept on talking about, like, saving the savages and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, this is very much appreciated. You know what I mean? Like, that they're not pulling punches. And if anything, I'd imagine that people from the South and people who are proponents of states' rights and states' rights alone in this country are probably offended by the way that their ancestors are being portrayed quite accurately.
They went there. I mean, early in the game, like I don't even want to give it away, but I know you heard. It was a moment in there when the dude was like, "I don't want to be in there with all them darkies." I was like, "Yo, they going in."
And that's when I was just like, see now, but see, Rockstar, in my opinion, bro, like since GTA 4, I feel like they've been really pushing the envelope and like really talking that talk in a lot of subtle ways. In GTA 5, they had a lot of subliminal commentaries about certain things that, like, you probably it went over a lot of people's heads, but like this right here, man, like, listen, uh, we're gonna air quote all of these terms. Air quote real Americans. Air quote our country Americans. Y'all getting told y'all business a little bit
Right.
in this game, and
Yeah.
I'm only about 40% done the story, and it's gonna be very interesting for me to see what the reaction ends up being as more and more people actually play through the story and see a lot of the allegories and a lot of the different points that they're trying to make in there, where it's just like, okay, you can see a lot of little things from like a. I think the biggest thing that attracts me to this game, man, is like I really do feel like Back to the Future 3, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, like I've gone back, you know, and my son is 6. I'm pretty, you know, I don't really let him watch a lot of craziness. You know, a lot of the violence I let him see is like in context. So, you know, if we're watching something violent, it's gonna be like Amistad or something like that at this point. You know what I mean? But I feel like he's starting to get old enough now where, and a lot of kids now, you know, for a lot of generations haven't really been, you know, kept in their lane as far as the content that they're allowed to consume, or at least have it be explained to them in a way that they can help understand. But this, I feel like, speaks for itself. And a lot of the vulgarity in the game isn't outrageous. It's not over the top like a GTA game would be. And I feel like this is like the first like true grown-up game since, ironically, another Rockstar game that I played, LA Noire.
Oh, and,
you know, that game sucked, like gameplay-wise, but the story was nuts. You know what I'm saying? And like, and I feel like this one is, like I said, I don't know anything about what's really about to happen, but we all know what happens, which is why I think this is the experience of it is so fascinating, because you know who makes it, at least based on playing Red Dead 1. Like, you know Javier Escuela and, you know, all the people, Bill Williamson, that you play against in the missions, but because you know that the gang falls apart like that, it's like you play every mission just waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You play like the further and further you get, you be like, man, at some point somebody has to betray us. Like, at some point somebody got to sell us out. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of, and that's where I'm at in the game now, where I'm just like, man, this got to go bad at some point, like real bad, right? And I'm not about, you know, again, this is all spoiler free, but I say all this, man, because, man, like, this to me is completely just like GTA 3 did. This to me is a signature game that changes the entire video game genre. I feel like the game Cyberpunk 77 that's about to come out, I don't think it's going to be anything to this level, but the way that they say that you can influence the story, all the different choices you have to go about doing things, you know, you think of all these different choose your own adventure, Telltale games, you know, even the Spider-Man game, that, you know, all the different ways you could do the same thing. Like, this a lot of, I feel like the direction that gaming is going in is, you're really gonna be able to create your own adventure at all times. And if it's playing this game now and we're seeing what it is, man, this is just making me think like, man, what is PS5 gonna be? Because this is what we thought about when we first picked up, you know, Tomb Raider or something like that. You'd be like, oh man, like, you can't imagine what games are gonna be like in 10, 20 years. And now here we are. You know what I'm saying? And with us kind of being the first real generation that grew up gamers, seen all the consoles come and go for the most part, you know. And now we kind of at a level where I'm just like, man, like, I feel like I lived this life when I play this game on a level, you know, and it could be corny, but it's just what it is. But like, when I play that joint, man, like I do all the little chores around the camp. I give most of my bread to the gang. Like, you know, it's all these little things that I'm trying to play as a good guy the first time. But when I come back the second time, it's going to be super quadruple savage. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody it's gonna be no mercy. I will be Bishop for all those missions.
Bishop.
But,
yeah.
But listen, man, all I'm gonna say, man, is that this right here, like I was talking to 65 the other day, man, because I couldn't get over how ridiculous this game is, and like this daggone like this world that they've created, to Smitty's point, like to actually be able to go to the background.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And like that's an incredible point, Smitty, because that's the difference with this. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like tapping people's pockets, running in people's cabinets and stuff like that. You know, it's just, I mean, as you see, I'm struggling to talk, and I usually don't do that.
But that's what I'm saying, man. The game is how we that excited over a Western, man. I mean, for real, that's crazy.
Fan people, you know what I'm saying? To do I'm Reggie Hammond right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
but nah, man. I appreciate y'all getting it out there, man, because daggone, you know, I picked up 2K19. You know, I finally ended the drought when they had it on the $40 sale. I cannot lie on that thing and say it is not wet than a mug. So, you know, it's funny because I got that just the week before this came out. So now it's like, man, all right, 2K, well, I know you there. You know what I mean? I started the little mindset. I know you there. You know what I mean? But we still got, what to call it? The Last of Us 2 to come out. I mean, it's just gonna be a game. Man. So like this, but this right here, you know what's crazy to me, yo? They're not even talking about the online yet.
That's what I was about to say.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like Red Dead Online will be infinitely harder than GTA 5 Online.
Oh, no question.
Because ain't gonna be no jets. Ain't gonna be no armored cars that you done paid $30 out your actual pocket to ride around and kill me with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be get down to lay down.
Horse tired. Horse can't run. Oh man!
I'm curious to see how they're gonna do Deadeye on online. I didn't play the Red Dead 1 online at all, but I'm just saying, man. Like, if they allow the full map to be used on Red Dead Online, can you imagine? I mean, like, can you imagine, bro? Like, can you imagine? So, like, I'm not even trying to look too far in the future. I'm really trying to drink all this in, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Is when I was listening to one of the dudes who I can't remember what channel it's called, but the people who be making all the little hype videos or whatever leading up to the game. One of them was talking about, like, it was just like, man, when the people had those early previews where they was getting like 10 hours to play or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Feedback that somebody gave was like, yo, like, don't speed through the game. Like, they literally made the game for you to not do that. And it's fascinating, man, because I find myself now, it's like I'll be in the camp for like an hour, just walking around, like, talking to everybody. You listen, they be telling stories and whatnot. Micah said some of the deepest stuff I ever heard in my life 30 minutes before the show started. That had me sitting there for a second. I was like, yo, he just messed me up. You know, like, he just challenged everything I believe in, and he wasn't wrong. You know? And it was like, it was just, if I hadn't have just pressed sit on the log while they were all sitting at the fire, I would never probably heard that. So it's just, you know what I'm saying, like Smitty said, they just run up on you out of nowhere. I mean, like, I stopped, like, no matter what I'm doing, unless I'm on the mission. I even failed missions because I caught a big fish when I was on the mission, and I tried to bring it back to sell it, and they made me fail the mission. But I'm just saying, it's like, I just be doing whatever, yo. Like, and, you know, I'll go back one day, and I try to get the speed run, get all gold or whatever, but I just be trying to play the game and just have fun and just tap everybody's pockets after I kill them. And all of that, man. Like, it's man. I'm sorry, man. Thank you, man. Y'all be safe this week.
All right, man. You know you're always welcome to come on anytime, man. Been a while, so. And, man, like I said, hey, Dice. Y'all got to come through with that Battlefield, man.
Hey. I forgot that shit was, I mean, that joint was even coming out, man.
Because it's like you said. Let's just imagine, man, that this online is like that, bruh.
Yeah.
That might have my attention. I ain't gonna have no time for Battlefield.
I'm saying, man. I'm sorry, man. I didn't really care for the beta too much, man. So I'm not sitting there that excited. I'm just like, oh, Battlefield ain't coming out until when? Oh, damn. Oh, man. Hey, telling you stories you don't care about.
Oh, that's too
Damn.
bad. Yeah, man.
You like, oh.
Oh, that's crazy. Like when you first met your girl and whatnot, when you first, that's how you be talking to your wife when you first met her. Nah, get out of here. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, brother. You know we appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna get back, if it wasn't for the fact that my son is asleep and Red Dead Redemption 2 is out, I listen to the rest of the show, man. But hey, man.
Nah, man, go dive in, man. I'm gonna be deep in it tomorrow, man. I can't do it tonight, but tomorrow I'm in it.
Well,
Yeah.
see, I ain't even gonna acknowledge that till you pull up, but we gonna address that another day, man. Y'all be safe, man. I'm gonna talk to y'all.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
So that was Dez, guys. Y'all remember Dez, man. You know, DMob79 in the chat. Man, yeah, Smitty. The game is real. It's real. And again, folks who are listening, man, you know, we're gonna move on to the next topic. It's not like we're not sitting here trying to compare. You know, we understand it's a sports title. We understand it's Rockstar, meaning we know what they deliver when it comes to a GTA and now a second iteration of Red Dead. We know how long it takes. You know, it's impossible for us to sit here and try to say, oh, well, why can't Madden be this? We're not saying that. But what we are saying is, and I think Smitty said it perfect, it's about the experience. You know, Madden just don't give me that right now. I was talking to Azure the other day, Smitty, man, and we all was saying, you know, in the commissioner chat, we was like, yo, if it weren't for the Sim Standard Radio League, I don't have no desire. It's tough for me to even get through some of these series that I know, you know, some people want to see. It's tough. It's tough because it's like, basically, I'll share a conversation, guys, that Smitty and I and a few other had in another forum. I won't go too far. But basically, we had some recent discussion, you know, with fellow game changers and, you know, some other people alike. And we were basically talking about, you know, the status of CFM, well, franchise, and, you know, the exposure of it and things like that, and people wanting to play it. And my opinion was, simply put, it's just not deep enough. It doesn't have enough depth to keep your attention. You know, you look at guys like Deuce Douglas, a lot of you guys will remember who that is, that phenomenal post he put out, you know, a year or so ago, asking for franchise needs. He's doing videos now too with, you know, with some more of his must-haves. He does a great job with, you know, doing a franchise series. And let me interrupt myself really quick. Who is this kid for San Francisco, man, this quarterback? I don't know if it's the Raiders secondary that's just that bad, but this dude Mullins, whatever his name is balling out here. He's throwing some darts. He already got 2 touchdowns on the day, and there's 12 minutes or so left in the second quarter. I don't know who this cat is, but this dude looks.
He a rookie.
Yeah, and I think they said he's undrafted, right?
I don't know if he's undrafted. It isn't.
I think it said that when it popped up, but yeah, he's looks pretty good. But I mean, it is against a 1-6 team, so I can't praise him too much. But you can see skill, regardless of who he's going with. I can see that right. he has nice accuracy, makes good decisions. So, you know, we'll keep an eye on him. Nick Mullins is his name, folks, if y'all want to know. But anyway, back to the story. Deuce is even doing a series like I'm doing. You know, we're putting up some franchise games, and he does a great job with his. Like, I wish I was as good with graphics and all of that. But my point that I made in our discussion was the fact that he has to do all of that. Like, you know, half of the stuff that he does ain't even got nothing to do with on the field. You know, I like his style, how he chops it up. He shows you a good amount of gameplay, but then he shows you what's going on around the league and things like that. Mind you, again, using all of his own graphics, because we don't have anything like that in game. And that was my point. I would love to do on my channel, since I'm primarily football, I would love for me to do 3 or 4 uploads a week where it's just based on franchise, where I might be showing gameplay. Next time I'm showing you weekly prep. The next time I'm showing you, what's going on around the league and injury reports, like real injury reports. I'm not talking like the text that we have in Madden. I'm talking like what we see in 2K. Well, I could go in and look at the guy's body and be like, woo, look at this guy. Not even just my team, around the league. Like, oh, I see there's a lot of wear and tear on so-and-so. They're running the ball a lot. Maybe the later on in the week, I'm showing you preparation. How we're preparing for the next opponent. How we're scouting them. How we're practicing. How we're running certain drills, because we know, case in point, this week, we going up against the Ravens in the real world, which I actually got that gameplay coming for you guys maybe tonight or tomorrow. But wouldn't it be great to really have situational practice where I'm like, okay, #1 defense in the league, we need to practice this exact situation, this exact moment, these formations. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, if franchise gave us all of that, it could be so much content made around franchise if the game supported it. So it's becoming a headache, man. I mean, I have some people who view it, and a lot of people just say, we like, the commentary and all of that. But how much better would it be if the game was fully, like, flushed out?
Right.
I don't know, man. It actually walks us right into the next topic, Smitty, man. We can talk about, Madden spreading the wealth. Will they financially invest across the board going forward in all areas? Are we going to see that investment where they always telling us that? I find it interesting, even if you look at the transcript from the recent, the investors call. I didn't get a chance to listen to it, but I just looked at the transcript. I find it funny, man, how they always seem to advertise Madden, including Madden 19, as the most immersive NFL experience they've ever created. I find that laughable. That those are the words that they always choose when they're talking about Madden. Most authentic NFL experience. For who? Who they talking to? I mean, I don't understand that. How can you say that when you don't really have a mode? Like, let's be real for a moment. You don't have a mode where we can say we're replicating authentically what goes on in the NFL. You have, little tidbits of it, but you don't have some of the most important things. Look at all of the stuff that just happened in the real world with all of these trades and all that. You can't even really replicate that. Because the trades in the NFL, in Madden, is basically cut and dry. There's no leverage in this, no leverage in that. It's no, bonuses or front loading, back loading when you do contracts. You can't really replicate none of that stuff. Managing your personnel, giving a guy less reps in practice, etc., etc. You can't do any of that. You once could, but now in today's Madden, you can't do it. So, I don't know, Smitty. What do you think, man? Do you think they will ever start investing across the board, or is it a pipe dream at this moment? Do you have any confidence that they'll do it?
I feel that if they're gonna do it, it's gonna show in the product. Because like what Sim and I was talking about before the show started, there's some project that they working on. I forgot the name of it already, but I saw it like the other day.
Project Atlas.
Project Atlas?
Yeah, that's what I saw. That's what it said in the article I pulled up.
Okay, so this Project Atlas, and I mean they tweeted it out yesterday. And it's this big spanning project that they're doing that is spanning across basically, I think, like all of their studios. And they have, no, excuse me, they have over 500 devs working on it. And this is some big time cloud-based kind of project deal that they have. Like, I mean, we don't have all the details on it specifically, so we're going off the cuff. But the main thing that catches me is that you're making this big investment on this, right? You're able to invest on this. You're able to pull together all these resources. And you're even, and the thing is, even in the article itself, they're still asking, they put a link in there for people to apply to work at EA. So in regards to that project too. So it's like, you're pouring all these resources into this Project Atlas you're doing. But what about Madden? What about that game being built out? Why is it that every time that we talk about Madden and being developed and being flushed out or being built upon or anything like that, why is it that when we do this, or why is it that when we do that, it's, oh man, you know what? We on old code. Man, we only got so many resources. But you made 5.1 billion this past year. I mean, you made $5.1 billion. I know that's not all Madden revenue, obviously. We know that.
That's crazy.
But you made $5.1 billion. You're telling me that you made $5.1 billion and you can't, for Madden, honestly, flush that game out? You can't hire more developmental resources? You can't give them a more elaborate budget? Like, seriously, the project clearly shows that whatever development budget is given to Madden, it's going heavily into Ultimate Team, without question. It's heavily going there. And it's sparingly going into core gameplay. It's sparingly going into presentation. It's sparingly going into everything else. Your online, what about VIP profiles and stuff like that? You telling me they wouldn't be able to do all that at this point? They couldn't build it out and have it branched out like that at this point right now? You see what I'm saying? You telling me that we don't even have line stunts? You're telling me we couldn't have that at this point by now? You're telling me that franchise mode. And like what Sim said, it's like the community has to make franchise mode pop when EA should be making it pop. And we just endorse facets of it based off of what they gave us, because they gave us the depth. And what I mean by that is, like what Sim said, NBA 2K. I could talk about player movement, not players, on the court, but just player movement, like NBA within my league. I could talk about transactions. I could sit up here and do a whole entire thing on targeting players, media buzz. What are these teams thinking about when it comes to potential free agents? Who are they looking for? I could look at working out my team and stuff like that. Player rotations. Seeing, I got a hurt player. He's got a hurt knee, a hurt this or whatever. I could look at menus. I could look at how players feel based off of the contractual situation. We have none of that in Madden right now. None of that stuff is there. Free agency in Madden is just, I'm going to outbid you. I'm going to outbid you and that's it. Oh, yep. I got to, the first 200 points wins. That ain't, what is that? That don't mean jack squat. Madden '05, you actually had some not, they didn't have every single paper, but it was crazy when you see some of the legitimate like papers of the respective cities talking about what's happening in the league. That's sweet. That was immersion that you give. You know, the fake radio show with Tony Bruno and all that stuff. Like, all of that. And players actually had interests and desires. Players and coaches. You couldn't just throw money in their face. It all, you know, do they like your team? Do they like where your team is located? Do they like this? Do they like that? Like, there were variables that mattered. You couldn't truly keep everybody. You see what I'm saying? But in Madden now, yes, you can do that. You see what I'm saying? And I mean, yeah, people, you know, people were, you know, like when we talk about like what Sim talked about, with like what he mentioned before about franchise, it's too much coddling. When we talk about Madden and we talk about how the game needs to evolve and how it needs to go further, it's all this coddling. And when it comes to talking about Madden at times, it's like we talk about Madden like they're on the cusp of like if the game actually changes, that's a problem. If the game actually evolves and gets better, that's an issue. There's always this line that ends up getting drawn in the sand when we talk about, man, they need to make it authentic. Man, they need to do this. They need to do that. And the thing is that, like we said last week, like my man Brett was on here, you know, like what he has said, dudes were, you know, you got guys out here that, like, look, I'm sorry, I'm just like trying to gather my thoughts right, but in terms of saying it, but it's basically this: Madden is made for the comp crowd. That's the easiest way to put it. It's made for the comp player and it's made for the casuals. It's made for the sim community for the first 4 weeks of launch. Then after that, it's for the comp crowd. Because they're the ones that whine. They're the ones that complain. You know, they change up the meta and all that stuff for them. And then all of a sudden, this game goes into the toilet. The devs work and everything else. I mean, mind you, they do improve things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like nothing, like nothing ever improves or gets better. But it's like the overall feeling is like, what happened to this game? Like you got people all of a sudden across the board talking about Madden 17 at launch. Oh, it felt so good. And you're seeing it from comp players, but I'm like, but y'all were the same ones that when Madden launched, y'all were complaining. Y'all the same ones that were whining about it. Now you're saying, oh man, Madden 17, the way they had that was on point. Yeah, but y'all ruined it. And that's why I like when Azura says, I mean, I know that EA is not going to do it, but they need to make 2 games. They honestly do. They need to make a game for the MUT crowd, and they need to make a game for people that, this is like Red Dead, right? This is like Red Dead. Make the NFL experience. If you truly want that NFL experience, franchise mode, we got the franchise mode for you. We got the authentic sim gameplay. We got all that there. Contracts, everything else. We give you guys all that depth, or whatever depth it is they're able to give. We're going to give you that, and it's not going to be touched. Only thing we're going to fix is bugs, and we're only going to, implement things that are going to make the game feel crisper and tighter. That's it. Comp and MUT and all that stuff, let them cats destroy it. They can tear that game down. They can turn it into Madden Arcade if they want. Let them do that. Let them have their game over there. But if you want an authentic NFL experience, meaning that when you watch what happens on Sunday, we gave you guys the closest experience to that. This is the game you want to get. And we're going to give it to you right there. That's what needs to happen. Now, I know that, like I said, they're not going to do that. So we need to see them invest. And I mean, we need to see them invest is what I mean is when it comes to the innovation of gameplay and modes, I want to see it. I don't want to hear the reasoning, because the crazy part is that me and Sim have been going down to the studio since 2012. So that means that Gen 3, we were hearing the same thing. Man, we on this old code. We're on this old code base, man. This code base, man, they've been working on it for so many years, man. It's got legacy stuff in there. All right, we got to go to another generation in order to really get it there. We go to Gen 4. It's still the same situation, man. This code base, man. Bro, and I understand. I'm not saying that devs are lying or nothing like that. They're not. But they have to be able to, whatever it is that's wrong, they need to be able to get it right. So they need to hire the engineers, the programmers, the whomever needs to be brought on board so they can do it. Quit bottlenecking these guys and then trying to act like, there's this strapping of, we can only do but so much, man. It's just jacked up, man, and this is what it is. And I understand their position. That's why I don't sit up here and say devs are the problem, because they're not the problem. It's people, it's the powers above them that are the issue, that are holding this game down and holding it back. But that needs to stop happening. That's what I said about NBA Live. I said Live is guilty till proven innocent. You got to prove it with your product at the end of the day. You got to prove it with the core gameplay experience. You got to deliver that. There's no excuse. But then when I look at Madden, when I look at Madden, look at what they're giving us. Look at 2K. And look at what they're giving us. They're not on a brand new engine. They're on the same freaking engine that they've been on for 20 years. So for them people, well, as far as I know, I never have seen anything posted up about them going to a brand new engine. I mean, EcoMotion, that EcoMotion engine felt like that was basically like what not Ignite, but like that Infinity engine when they added that in. You know what I mean? It's just like it's another. It was a layer that was added in on top of what was already there. So, as far as I know, 2K never switched their engine. They augmented, but just like Madden does, they augment it for the platform they're on. But 2K has that old engine, and look what they're able to do. They innovate heavily every year. Even if stuff is subtle, they still innovate. They're striding. And NBA Live right now can't even lick the bottom of 2K's shoe. They're not touching them right now. But yet, look what 2K does. And yes, people feel that the quality has fell off in certain installments and stuff like that. And I can't blame them. But see, that's the crazy part. 2K still puts out a good game, but when they fall off, it's like you fell from a great spot. So that's crazy to be able to say that. But Madden is in a rough spot, and it's like when they take a step up, that's why you hear the statement say, man, this is the best Madden put out in history and all that. So I'm like, yeah, I mean, you can say that every year. Your next installment should be better than your previous one. So you're always going to say it's the best you've ever done. That's always going to be the point. But like what Rex had said, even though he's not at EA no longer, but what he said that during his time working on Madden, he never said he had a Madden installment that he could sit back and say, this is the best project that I've worked on. He said that about NCAA 14. He didn't say anything about Madden title, while he was there. See, so that's why I'm saying, like, there's a lot more that we should honestly have. Like, it's a scary and sad thought to just think, what if 2K made 2 more versions of APF, 2 more installments? Even though, yeah, they had different looking animations for running and juking and D-line moves and stuff like that, the animations would look different, but the way the action took place were all really, they were very similar. So it's not like how 2K is now with their basketball. Like, what I mean is how Allen Iverson does a crossover is not going to be the same way as Steph Curry does it, like how LeBron does it, like how Derrick Rose does it, like how Westbrook does it, so on and so forth. I'm saying, just think of how crazy it would have been if they had 2 more installments where they started to build out the animation library and they make throwing motions feel different in terms of variance of speed, in terms of, them getting those releases off. What about different run styles, them feeling different on the field? Catches and tackles and all that stuff. And then they actually have a franchise mode in there instead of just a season. And you can actually build things out and stuff like that. And they gave us the customization ability. If they did all that stuff, honestly, the likelihood of me messing with Madden at this point would be very, very low. Even though that would be an old game, but still, it would be low. Just like people mess with NCAA the way they do now. That was the very last release, but that would have been the case, at least for me. Now, it's upsetting that, to see EA is the only game out there, or Madden is the only title, because there's no one there to push them. No one's going to take away from their 5-6 million sales that they get. No one's taking from that. So if there was somebody out there that was investing in an NFL license that made another game, I would prefer Sony. But if somebody did it and put it out there, I promise you that would be the year we would get the absolute cleanest Madden to date, because they will invest. They will make sure that they don't lose nothing, and all of a sudden that'll be the highest selling Madden they ever get. And it'll be so crazy. They'll be like, well, what happened? Oh, because somebody's shown up. That's why. Because somebody going to take that money from their pocket. They don't want to lose that. When they see they're not going to get nearly as much MUT revenue and all that stuff, then now the game changes. Now they got to put that work in. So that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I want to see EA. I want to see the money actually talk. Y'all made all this money. Y'all investing in these other side projects, and that's perfectly fine. I don't care what you do. And see, once again, I don't give a care about comp crowds. I don't care. They can have all the stuff they want. All I'm saying is just give us the authentic experience. Give us the game without destroying anything, without taking away. Don't take away from us to please somebody else. I don't want to have a title update where I gotta feel the effects, despite having the 3 settings. I don't want to feel the effects of what a tournament gamer wants because of metas and all that other jazz. The meta should be football, period. Not the meta based upon what people are doing. Skip that. The meta is football. What's happening in the NFL, replicated in the video game, with the strategies, the movement, the authenticity. Give us that. Make all these elements matter. You know what I'm saying? And it should matter across the board. The coach you have, make that be impactful. NBA Live Mobile makes it impactful. They make your coach matter. In terms of the player that you have. I mean, in terms of your team and everything, it matters. It matters in terms of what, like, you could get ratings boosts, you can get, and on top of that, what kind of offense you run. It matters. And also, you could get offense, defensive boost based off of that. Wouldn't it be awesome to actually say, like, if you have a base coach, what kind of, like he will have an impact offensively or defensively off rip. And what play call scheme you have is going to have an impact off rip. That matters. Like that should truly matter, but it doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. It's just pick up the game, go ahead and play it. Yeah, we got player models on the side that resemble coaches. But they don't mean anything ultimately. They're just there. There's no scheme that they have that you can see. There's nothing to really game plan for. There's nothing for you to gauge. Just play the game. That's it.
It's all placebo.
Extremely placebo. And that's why I'm this. And that's why, like what Sim said, he's been saying it for so many years. If it weren't for this league, he wouldn't be messing with it. I'm pretty sure if it weren't for the league, a lot of these all these cats probably wouldn't even be playing Madden like that. They'd be playing it more sparingly. And that's it. Or they'll be playing it just because they want to scratch a football itch. And they want to go ahead and they want to play the game just because. Because at this point, people are subjecting themselves to playing the game instead of it being, I genuinely want to have fun with this game. They're just going through the motions of playing it. That shouldn't be what a video game is. I'm not playing Red Dead Redemption going through the motions. I don't play NBA 2K going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? If it's something that I partake in, if I buy a suit, if I get a particular pair of shoes, I don't get them just to be like, it's whatever. Like, no, I like them. There's something about them that drew me to them that made me want it. And I feel, like that suit makes me feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Or this car that I drive, I like the way it feels. This suits me. I like it suits and it fulfills my needs. So I like that. I don't want to just say, oh, well, I just got something with 4 wheels and I can throw the keys in and just start driving. Like, no, there's a clear difference between the two. Problem is, that's how Madden feels right now. It feels like you're doing work. It doesn't feel like I'm having fun with it. Even when I stream it, Madden feels more of a chore than it is enjoyment. I have my moments of enjoyment, yes, but it shouldn't be moments. I should be enjoying it throughout. It doesn't make sense for me to not be enjoying it at this point. So that's where I'm at with it, man. That's how I feel in regards to EA. And like I said, me and Sim both understand the business side. We get that you just can't say throw money at it and that's it. We understand that, but I'm saying there needs to be a truly genuine investment in Madden. I don't want to see nobody try to justify. I had somebody, and I'll say this and I'll throw it to Sim. Just a few minutes ago, not too long ago, I'm up here chatting with some other folks. I just had somebody try to justify to me that NHL, PES, FIFA, NBA 2K, and MLB The Show are in the exact same boat as Madden when it comes to gameplay.
What?
Yeah. That's a lie from the pit. If I've ever heard. That is one of the absolutely ludicrous things I ever heard before. And they say because, the game gets nerfed and stuff like that or whatever. Yeah, we know 2K gets nerfed, but it's still leaps and bounds over Madden. We know FIFA gets touched and NHL get touched because of tournament, comp players, blah, 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 all that stuff. We know it happens. But as far as franchise modes, as far as franchise mode death, as far as gameplay death, as far as gameplay innovation, no. Madden is not even remotely close to any of those games. But yet, this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. People want to coddle Madden. They want to protect it. And act like everything is all good and Madden can just keep making these small moves. F that. They cannot make those small moves. They have to make some true strides and truly invest and build up that project. It can't keep being this small movement. It's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. And I'm saying remove yourself from the, well, I feel this. So no. Look at the product and show me how this game is better than, and show me how Madden's in the same boat. Show me how Madden is right there with 2K right now. If the answer is, I think, no, I don't want to hear I think. Show me the facts. Show me the Carfax report that proves that Madden is in the same boat. We all know that ain't true. So I don't even know why you'd even do that. I don't care. You can hate basketball. Or you can hate every other sport, and football is the only sport you love. You cannot honestly tell me that or prove that to me or to anyone with sense or with two eyes. That's not possible. So that's why I'm saying it's always that uphill battle, and you have people that justify and just act like everything's all good when it really isn't. And there needs to be more work done. And see, that kind of mindset is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Those are the kind of mindsets that have us playing Madden 19, and then the game ends up feeling like one of the worst Maddens ever because of what they choose to say about the game, and that's what's being received. Not acceptable, man. So I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I went on like that. Man.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
That could pretty much close us out, because I don't think we're gonna make it to 10 o'clock. I'll just say a few things, man. I want to comment first of all on, and I don't think I got the round of applause working here tonight. No, I don't have my external hard drive in.
Oh yeah, Tadal.
But guys, yeah, definitely a round of applause to Tadal for, you know, shooting the I was about to say invitation, the donation. We appreciate that. Again, looking at this Mullins guy balling, and see, just even little stuff like that. You can't do this in Madden. Because another problem I have with Madden is they don't fully replicate what somebody does well. It's almost like the guy has to be a star or he's a straight up dud. And I hate that. It doesn't have that dynamic. Number two, what Nwakia said. He says because for whatever reason, people get all in their feelings when they get their doors blown off in Madden. Dudes are afraid to struggle. Absolutely correct. Yep. And I also agree with T. Coop. He says, in my opinion, if Madden spends a dev cycle focused solely on gameplay and franchise, I think they would be there. All the elements are in place. Fully agree. And I want to hit on that last piece there. Y'all hear me and Smitty go off on Madden like this, and we go on our tangent. But remember, we still are the ones who say they ain't that far away. That's what makes it so frustrating. They're not that far away. All they have to do is just tighten up the bolts and screws, man. They have stuff in place. Everything that Smitty talked about is in place. They have traits in the game. They have archetypes down. Could they just start blowing this stuff out? You know, what is the biggest difference between that and 2K? 2K replicates basketball better. They have the signature styles and things like that. Players feel different. Players' abilities actually feel different. We can't say that about Madden. Just look at the trenches. Everybody does the exact same thing in the trenches. You don't see, you know, Von Miller looking like Von Miller when he does his quick spin. You know, you don't have that. And that's the thing. Madden doesn't have enough elements to replicate football. And we're not saying that it's supposed to be, we understand, guys, it's not going to be fully dynamic. I mean, no video game is. Some games get close, but Madden just, it seems like the library of animations that we always hear about, we never see them. Every now and then you'll see an animation trigger and you'll be like, whoa, what was that? But way too often what happens in Madden is the same animations trigger for the same situations, and it makes it non-believable. Like, I have a play, and I don't know if I recorded it or not, so it might not come up as a video, but think about the situations, guys, where you've seen, let's say you throw the ball to a spot. Your receiver's a little bit ahead of it. but if the animation triggers, he zips backwards to catch the ball. Stuff like that. It's too much stuff that is tied together in the game, and it's forced. They don't have enough things that replicate. Now, another thing I want to counteract is, like NYK, I'm sure will agree with this. Because NYK, I always give him credit, man. He was the one that made me stop complaining so much and pay attention to Madden 11 when I just trashed it. Still was one of the worst games for me because I didn't like, that's when they started doing the rail tracks. Like the locomotion was horrible in that game. But Kia was the one who, you know, always used to tell us, look, I know you guys bash the game. I know it's not perfect, but there are some things that are actually there. You know, you might have to, you know, take a second look. And ever since he said that, I said, all right, I'm going to give him a fair chance. And you can find the good underlying things in the game. But my overall point is, I see people say all the time, Madden doesn't have any football in it. There's no football element. It doesn't feel like football. I disagree with that. There's a ton of football in Madden if they could get it to replicate, right? And I refer to Kia because, again, go look at some of his videos and some of his breakdowns. Football is there. Yeah. The problem is the way Madden chooses to replicate the game. There's not enough animations, believable outcomes, dynamic outcomes, AI. That's the problem. It's a ton of beautiful coverage concepts in Madden, believe it or not. Still a couple little bugs in there, but things play out the way they're supposed to at times. But you still have those moments where the AI kicks in and it wigs out. It's almost like the old code base or whatever just overrides everything. So that's not what we're saying, man. We're not saying that the game is complete trash. And even when we play in the Sim Standard League, you know, it's a more enjoyable experience because a lot of us, some of you guys have seen the videos. I've seen some of you guys comment and say, man, I like how the game played out in that video. Because I posted a head-to-head game the other day in the league. So it's not like you can't have no fun with Madden, but it is behind in all of these other games, man, in terms of replication. It is. It really is. And even when you start talking about off the field, I mean, forget about it. And things like commentary. You know, it was a good thing bringing Charles and Brandon on board, but I haven't seen a leap. I haven't seen a difference since they came on. It's like, it seems very stagnant. You know, again, and you know, and I agree, it is a little better because Smitty, you know, pulled my coat on this one earlier when I said I didn't like the presentation. There's some things that they've done different, but I still feel like that same coat of paint is still there. I haven't seen them take it to the next level in the living worlds. You know what I mean? Like it's like my man said, man, T. Coop said, Madden has so many things in place. Wow. Just look at Mutt and all the chems and all that. And I know the Mutt people challenge us and they say, nah, y'all don't really want that in CFM. Like, but y'all don't know what we're saying. We're just talking about the principle. We're not saying take the exact chemistries and all that and throw it in franchise. We're just talking about the principle of having, you know, a sense pressure type of trait, or, you know, big hitter type of guy, or conductor, and, you know, gunslinger. Because think about it. All we got to do is look at APF. That's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. That's all we're saying. Take those ideas from Mutt and put it in franchise. And they tried to do it a little bit with the archetypes. So we're just saying keep building on that. Keep building. It's so close. It's so frustrating, man. But let me comment real quick, man. Kia said, he said, I was right. For example, the worst type of receiver to have in Madden is Golden Tate. A guy decent at a little bit of everything and isn't overly flashy. And Tate is terrible in Madden. Doesn't stand out at all.
That's a good point.
Absolutely great point. I remember Azure used to make the same point about Reggie Wayne. You really can't have a Reggie Wayne, or I'll even go further than that. You can't have a Chris Carter in Madden. he does nothing for you. But you can have a Randy Moss. It's either, bang or bust. It's like, come on, man.
And remember, Sim, when we were at the studio for Madden 16, and we had Azura there with us, and how the game was playing at that point. It wasn't always about the size. It was about who it was, and the matchup mattered, like, in a great way. Like, if he had, for example, what's the name? Green Beckham, Dorial Green Beckham or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Man, 6'5", and he was up against a 5'9" DB, and it's like he was just eating lunch off of that kind of matchup. But you still had it where if you had a good receiver going up against, he could be a taller DB. It wasn't just about speed and that's it. It was also, you saw the matchup. And you saw, like, you know what? That makes sense because that's something that they would do. You know what? This makes sense and that makes sense. It's like there was a lot of stuff, or just the way the game was functioning at that point was like the fear was there between the wideouts and the DBs. And when the game came out, the fear was pretty much like, well, not as soon as it came out, but that fear was took away. You see what I'm saying? And that's the stuff, once again, I'm talking about. It's like they do things, and we talk about how, like you said, Sim, they have groundwork laid out. But when is that groundwork going to honestly be elaborated on without fear?
Right.
Without being messed with. That's what I'm thinking. That's where I'm at. So.
Yeah, there's so much they could do, man. Will they ever do it? Who knows? I hope they do. If not, I'll just I'll become a basketball head and I'll play Red Dead Redemption and whatever, man. I don't know. It's so frustrating, man, because all of us are football guys. I mean, we all like sports, but most of us are here because we want an authentic football game. We want the football game along with the basketball game, along with the soccer game, and the hockey game, and all of that. And it's really a shame, man, that's the only game that matters. The one that we all really care about is the one that getting the shaft. But we'll see. I will end this show with this, man. And I'm gonna give you guys I'll say this in advance. This is beyond a cliffhanger. But let's just say we'll see. I'm gonna have my eyes really, 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 really focused on this next version of Madden. Because, I've heard a lot. I've heard a lot of stuff, just rumblings of stuff. Of ideas and what things could or couldn't be, and what could be. So the only reason I want to say this tonight, because I want y'all to remember all the way back in November of 2018, November 1st, maybe we'll come back one day and I'll say, well, not one day, but maybe I'll come back next year and say, y'all remember what I was saying that I was gonna keep my eyes on? That's what I was talking about. We'll see. We've been down this road before where the talk sounds great. We will see. I can't wait, Smitty, man, for us to, when the new cycle starts. And when I mean new cycle is when, we get to, actually, if we get a chance. It's been a little sporadic lately, but when we get a chance to go down, I'm very interested in that first time, seeing for myself and being in the building and feeling the temperature of what's going on. That's going to be an interesting time. Looking forward to that, especially with it already being November. We'll see, man. We'll see. And Luck W, the thing is, at the end of the day, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Who cares? I mean, that is it. That's all any of us can say. We got to wait and see what's going to happen. And if we don't care to do it, then don't play the game. Don't purchase it. That's it. To be honest, it comes down to just that. Because I know, and not just picking on you, but I've heard a bunch of guys say the same thing, and y'all continue to buy the game. And then, your comeback is, well, it's the only football game. And listen, I'm not blaming you for that. But what I'm saying is, what else is there for any of us to do? Y'all always get on us for saying, us game changers. Y'all always say next year. But what else y'all want us to say? We're disappointed just like everybody else. Like, what else are we supposed to say? We're sitting here, and Smitty basically, he nailed it tonight. I just sat back and listened as far as the Madden stuff. We went on our rant tonight, and we are in the same boat as y'all. And matter of fact, worse, because we have all the ideas that we get to share in person, only to be disappointed. Or even worse, Smitty, a lot of times we know the reason why something didn't happen. Even worse than that, we know stuff that's supposed to have been there already that didn't get there.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, when you hear us say, hey, we'll see what's going to happen, we're saying that, guys, because we know stuff that's on the table. That's the most honest answer I can give you. We know stuff that is on the table. So when you hear Smitty and I or any of the other game changers, that conversate with you guys, we're literally saying it from a standpoint, well, yeah, I know they got that. I just want to know what game they're going to put it in. Literally. That's literally what we said. I mean, some stuff, like the stuff Smitty was talking about tonight, that's legit. We know that, internally, well, we're told that they know they need to do stuff to franchise. But franchise is one of them areas where I really don't, I have no idea. The list is so big, until I start seeing them really start chipping away from like the meat stuff, then I can say, oh, okay, then we'll probably know, yeah, they probably gonna tackle this that year. Right now, we haven't seen that initial investment. We know what the list look like. And honestly, and this is no secret, the list is a whole lot of the stuff that Deuce put out. Yep. We know what the list look like, even from the dev standpoint. But we haven't seen none of that yet. So we're even at limbo, like, okay, all right, y'all can't keep saying that y'all know. Okay, we all know. Let's make something happen and make us believe it. But the other stuff, trust me, there's stuff that should be in Madden right now that ain't there. Dating back 3 or 4 cycles ago where that's going to probably happen next year. We couldn't do it. Had to cut it. Yeah, we're going to get that in for this one. We had to cut it. We ain't seen it yet. So, again, man, we did pretty much make it till 10. I don't know how we made it happen because we had little to talk about. But, again, man, I ended on this. When you hear Smitty and myself say that, it's because sometimes it is stuff that we know was supposed to come. They had plans for it to be there. May have gotten cut in a prior version, and we're just like, man, we'll see next year. Yeah. Think about it, guys. Like, how many times have y'all heard us say that? Remember when we was talking about DB and wideout interactions? We knew they were coming. We just didn't know when. They finally got there, and now our dispute now is like, okay, so when are we gonna make it more dynamic? That's what we want now. Mm-hmm. So it's on to the next one. Like, so, don't always read into everything that we say, because we do kind of look at it from more of a dev standpoint. So there you have it. That's about all I got, man. Yeah. Anything else you got for the people, Smitty, before we roll out?
That's literally it, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I went on and said a whole lot and everything like that, but I mean, we say it now, these are things that we know and we share it with you guys. We share it. We may say it in a more subtle fashion, but it's just when you see, this kind of stuff pop up, and then we have the insight that we get at times about situations. It's like, really, what's really good? That's why you've heard Azura say, I don't know how many times, I want a seat at the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants to be at that table, like, with the people that really are making them calls and really see what's good. Like, that's what we've been talking about. You know what I'm saying? All along. Because it's not the devs. And like we've said in the past, these devs have all kind of ideas for Madden that span far beyond what others would even think of doing. I mean, at least I haven't seen some ideas out here, and it's crazy because while we pull from other games and make modifications, like what Deuce Douglas did with his, you got devs that'll think of things that are like brand spanking new. And we have talks about that stuff at times, and then it's like, man, can that stuff happen, please? You know what I'm saying? But then when you hear all this stuff about resources and stuff being held back and being limited and all that, that's why we get annoyed by that. So it's not a dev thing we look at. It's a corporate situational kind of thing we look at the end of the day. So, but that's all I got, man. Just, enjoy Red Dead and play games that you enjoy. It shouldn't be a chore. We all have passion for the game, and we all want this game to be great, but it has to be more. It has to be more of an entertainment across the whole board, not just on one part of the game, but across the entire product. Because at the end of the day, like we always keep saying, gameplay is how the game plays. That's it. And the game has to play sound. So that's all I got, man.
Man, all I know, this kid is having a blast against the Raiders. Man, I don't know. I don't know if it's it might just be the Raiders, but this dude and him and George Kittle just made an amazing one-hand catch on a slant across the middle and scampered for about 60 yards. Almost scored. I have a soft spot for that dude, man, because I really, that year when Kittle got drafted, I think it might have been last year. I think this is his second year. I was really hoping the Steelers would have grabbed the tight end, even though I like Vance McDonald. But Vance McDonald, you guys got to remember, was hurt. He was hurt often, and Kittle just scored a touchdown. So this kid has 3 touchdown passes tonight. But anyway, love Vance McDonald right now, but every time I see guys like Kittle, and I'll even go a little further back, Landon Collins, every time I see him play, it breaks my heart. Because we could have had Landon Collins, man. He went in the second round. And that was when the Steelers really needed safety help. I think they were still semi-confident in, I don't even remember who we had then. I know Mitchell was the free safety. I can't even remember who our strong safety was 3 years ago. But anyway, it hurts my heart when I see that, Smitty. I really wanted this George Kittle dude, man. But anyway, yeah, guys, man. I will say one last comment because I see my man Luck W a lot emphasize his commentary and mouthpieces and stuff like that. You know what? I'm going to be honest, man. It used to be a time when Smitty and I would say, well, you know, I'm worried about the other stuff first. And, of course, we are still gameplay and franchise first. But to be fair, all that stuff should be in the game by now. It really should. We should be looking at a game, man, where, I mean, it's mouthpieces. The commentary is, like, spectacular. You know, I mean, all of that should be there. We should not have to sit here and say, well, they got to get this right first. Nah, nope. It should be just like the rest of these games. Just like the rest of these games. All of these games should be at a point where we're just basically judging what they did. It's not from, you know, lack of depth. Like even 2K. We judge 2K or let's see what the gameplay gonna be like this year. We won't judging 2K on man, I know they ain't gonna have this. I know they ain't gonna have that.
Right.
Like 2K actually is too deep for a lot of people. Even guys, I ain't gonna say it's too deep for me, but I'm not a basketball guy. So sometimes I really have to study it to know what type of freelance motion I should be running, or should I be running triangle, or I don't not a basketball dude like that. You see, so 2K teaches me the game. So it could be overwhelming to some people where I thrive in that. I thrive in having to learn a sport. But we can't say that about Madden. Now, for somebody who don't know football, yeah, it's still stuff, honestly, that you could do in Madden 19, football-wise, where you could beat somebody that has no idea. But the flip side to that is two football minds can't really out-football each other. Not really, because there's not enough stuff that matters to me in that game. It's not, the matchups don't matter enough. Think about the Rams. Are you really gonna feel that front that they got now, adding Fowler? Are we really gonna feel that in Madden? Where you almost petrified to run or pass because of that front. Not really.
Right.
It's a dice roll. I just don't like, and it does feel different when you play certain teams a little bit, but I just don't like how they replicate it. That's my biggest problem with Madden. They don't replicate these things in a believable format. And you don't believe me? Go play all Madden on default. That tells you all you need to know right there. The day that we can play all Madden on default and it plays a clean game, then we got something.
Yep.
Oh man, and Nathan Brooks, appreciate you as well, man. You guys are the best, man. Really, really do appreciate y'all for all of it coming through, supporting us. And again, man, don't forget, guys, if y'all like, I know I haven't been doing it much. I'm going to try to get back to it when I can. My schedule is just crazy. But for you guys, man, that really enjoy streams like gaming, make sure y'all check out Smitty, man. Smitty streams pretty much every day. His schedule is up. Check him out because he streams all of these games. So please go over there, show your love, view, donate, share, all of that. Check Smitty out, man, for the gaming content because I've been very slow on mine. But yeah, man, we love you guys, man. So
yeah,
got to get out of here. Got to go to bed early tonight. But y'all be safe. Have a good rest of the week. Have a great weekend. And if you are a Ravens fan, don't you send me no messages until after that game. I don't want to hear nothing from you. But good luck to everybody else's team, man. We'll catch you guys next week. Go get that Red Dead. And that's coming from somebody that don't never recommend buying a game. Go get that Red Dead. Go Redbox it at least. At least. Just try it. Don't go Redbox it and just see how you feel. See if it hook you in. But all right, man. We out of here, man. Y'all be good. Peace.
All right. Peace up.